you see the thumbnail, you see the title, you know today I'm going to be doing a reading on Zendaya, or Zendaya is how it's pronounced, and Sydney Sweeney. And if you all didn't know, there has been some rumors going around that these two are not seeing eye to eye, and that there's a bit of tension between the two. That Zendaya has been pretty much ignoring her, or refusing to do press, I think the press tour for Euphoria with Sydney Sweeney, just because of her political views. And this is coming after, you know, Sydney Sweeney has been under fire for her American Eagle jeans ad that she did, where a lot of people felt it was a lot of dog whistling to eugenics in there. And so some people are like, that's not cool. That's not cool. And a lot of people are kind of going back and forth on whether or not they should like Sydney Sweeney or support her. I guess some people are going back and forth. Not me, child. Are going back and forth on whether or not they support Sydney Sweeney and what she's doing, and if she's really just a full blown MAGA or whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. I do want to say though, I think you are very naive if you can't read what's going on by now. But yeah, so yes, in the title on Twitch, I do have this as Homelander versus Zendaya, but it's for a reason. I was watching something online where they were attributing her to being kind of like the female Homelander, essentially because of her recent interview that she did with, I think this was on something that aired on Twitter or X, whatever, where she did an interview with this reporter who was kind of like tiptoeing around the subject and trying to like, and was pretty much like softballing questions to her in regards to the whole um you know, jeans and whether it was a call to it and if she wanted to address it, and why did she decide to do Chrissy the movie, which leads me into the other kind of like subtle beef that's been going on online with Sydney Sweeney. She's collecting beefs like they are the gemstones to the gauntlet here. She also seems to have pissed off Ruby Rose, who, I don't know if she played in the movie Christy, but she did have some comments to say about Sydney Sweeney playing Christy, because I did not know this movie is based on a woman who kind of faced DV, and she was a survivor of that, and I think she's also a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And you know, Sydney Sweeney is playing this character, and Ruby Rose had an issue with somebody of Sydney Sweeney's politics, and would you call it her and someone who's straight, who's heterosexual, playing Chrissy, because it could have went to someone who was the lesbian to play Chrissy. And this has put Ruby Rose under fire from Chrissy herself, the, you know, person that this autobiography or whatever is about. Has, you know, has fired off support in regards for Sydney Sweeney. So yeah, we're gonna get into all of that and see what comes up in this reading, because it just seems like it's a big old kerfuffle and mess going on here. And so I wanted to get a reading in on the whole mess and just leave it alone and leave it where it's at, because particularly, I don't know why people feel like Sydney Sweeney owes them anything. She has pretty much told you everything you need to know about her, and if you don't understand and you're still drinking the milk here, I feel like that's on you. So with all of that being said, I'm going to reiterate, and I want to remind people that I do not want you to take my readings as facts or as gospel, because they are simply to serve as maybe confirmations or hints in regards to what the situation is. Because of course I don't know these people. We are not getting this information straight from their mouth. You probably never will when it comes to people like Sydney Sweeney. Yes, I'm going to throw shots this entire video, but you probably won't ever hear anything. You won't ever hear them, because I'm doing celebrity readings. You probably ever won't hear them come out and just blatantly say, hey, this is what it is, because they're going to dance around it and move forward with their lives. So all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. Please keep in mind that I like to reference myself as kind of like, or refer to myself as a spiritual translator. So with that being said, note that what often happens with translations, sometimes there are mistranslations, sometimes there are things that is misinterpreted. And so, you know, I want to leave that room for error, because not only am I human and I'm using tarot to kind of tap into this, but sometimes there are certain things that I like, download the messages or whatever that I will get that I may not be explaining correctly. So I would just kind of want to leave that room for that margin of error that I'm going to probably pick up on in these readings. So I'm going to shuffle these cards and I'm going to get started on this reading. I don't know. I don't know what people expect differently from her. I think she's very much showed people what it is. So you either are going to support her or you're going to shut up and not patronize anything she does because you don't agree with her, or, you know, be like some people, just stay out of the mess of it all anyway. You just be like, hey, well, I just want to watch this movie. I don't care if she's in it, and go about your business. Because, yeah. But if you want to stand for something, which side are you standing on here? Because I think she has made it abundantly clear. Okay, let's see here what's going on with. There's more going on behind the scenes with Ruby Rose's beef with Sydney Sweeney. Okay, we do have the Page of Swords here. Two of Wands also coming up in reverse. And I also have the Four of Cups. These are all coming up in reverse, mind you. Yeah, to me, it's just kind of like... I think Ruby Rose has been pretty on the nose with it. I don't think there's anything more to it. I think she is a bit, her gears are a bit grinded, essentially just because of the whole Chrissy thing. I noticed she didn't say anything, or at least she didn't say anything publicly with the jeans ad, or at least it wasn't blown up, you know, because I don't know how big Ruby Rose is in the global scale of things, but you know, she didn't really say anything. You didn't hear a lot about her stance on like the whole jeans ad or anything like that until the whole Chrissy thing happened. And then she was like, okay, now is the time to say something. And I think it is no feelings, no love lost there, no adoration, no appreciation of anything there. I think she very much, I think for Ruby Rose, there's a thing here just kind of like Hollywood still is stuck in this cycle of not of like representation still matters, and the fact that you have somebody who, for all intents and purposes, or how most people would interpret it, is somebody who probably wouldn't care for somebody who's an LGBTQIA member, whether they lived or died or got the health care that they needed or was living okay, wouldn't go and check on them for anything, wouldn't care at all, wouldn't spit on you to put you out of, you know, to put a fire off of you if you were, you know, on fire or whatnot. And you got her playing this character that is like more important to this community of people here. So I think her ire has been pretty much aired out there and has been stated, and I think she very much knows like, hey, maybe there's not going to be much to change, but this is the moment in time that I can say something. Let's see here which... I'm not surprised we're getting the Queen of Wands in reverse here for Sydney Sweeney. Um, and the reason why I said it is not like a bad thing. You know, people say she is conventionally pretty. So the Queen of Wands coming up for her and her kind of like leaning into that beauty asset of things is understandable. And every time I do a reading on her and without fail, I'm always getting something about finances or money coming up for her. I think she is very much focused on like, it feels like she's speed running. Excuse me. It feels like she's speed running her career at this time. Like, I don't know if she's racing against the clock on something or she just feels like, hey, this is the moment in time where I can just, I need to punch the gas and just floor it and get all the money that I can. But then I always get something about finances that's coming up with her. I always get some kind of like a concern or like critical thought when it comes around her finances and like not caring for anything else. She feels very much like I need to make my bag by any means necessary. And then we also get, ooh, the Hierophant also comes up in reverse. So there's a couple of ways people can interpret this. And the first thing that I want to say is that I don't think she cares what the public thinks or what a certain group of the public thinks is okay. I'm gonna babble here. I'm gonna go a long way here and I hope you follow me when I say this. This to me feels like Sydney Sweeney. It reminds me of something I just seen Tracy Ellis Ross comment on about the beauty industry, especially when it comes to like black owned brands, where she was saying something along the lines of like um essentially like there's certain things about these brands and how they saturate or the benefit that they bring that can't always be financial and people don't account for that. They only want to see if the dollars make sense at the end of the day and they don't look at the overall picture and kind of like how, like for example, I think she said something like you don't look at how this one small company has they only tailor to darker shades and yeah, they don't make as much as kind of like your A list, your triple A company over here, your triple A beauty company, but they do help overall when you think about stores like Sephora or Ulta, where you know they help bring in a different demographic that probably never would have came into the store before because they didn't think you had anything that tailored to their shades or their texture or whatever the case may be. So overall they're a benefit, but people don't see it like that because they don't make it's like they're not saturating widely, they're saturating deeply is essentially what the case is. And that kind of is like what I'm picking up when it comes to Sydney Sweeney. It kind of feels like it feels like I don't know, she has a scatter bullet um marketing tactic here of like I don't care if I leave these people behind. I'm trying to make sure I reach this certain demographic and I'm speed running my career. So I don't think she is phased at all by the critiques and stuff that she is getting. I think she is in her dark feminine era and she doesn't care. Like this is not penetrating anything for her. Look, I think she's very much aware of how she's moving. I think she understands how people perceive her because some people are very loud, loud and proud out here about it, and I don't think she really much cares. She's moving forward. She's like, I don't know what then clicked for her. I feel like there's been a switch that's been flicked for her, and I really want to say it really kind of like I don't know if these were around the same time, but I remember it was something where another celebrity kind of went after her for being. I think she was saying something like, there's not really a girl code when it comes to Hollywood. Like, you always hear about these other women in Hollywood saying they want to lift each other up. It was like some interview she did, and then they turn around and they kind of like downplay you or something or ruin you. And then it also, like, soon following that, at least in my memory of recollection of things, is I think soon after that there was the announcement of her divorce. I feel like something in there was a switch that flicked for her, and she has been unapologetic ever since. I don't know exactly what it was that clicked for her, but Sydney Sweeney was like, "I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna lean in on this, and it's gonna be what it is. I don't care." Because y'all don't really care, because otherwise y'all would, you other ladies in the industry would do something about it. And I feel like she's kind of like, I'm not about to play that game with y'all. I'm about to do for me. So yeah, Ruby Rose, I don't think she really cares for your commentary. She's like, okay, great. I'm still gonna move forward and do what I want to do. Because damned if I do and damned if I don't. I'll look at the fallout later. That's kind of like what I'm doing. But let's get into the more juicy part of this, and that is Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney's beef. What is going on between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney? So I am going to put Sydney Sweeney to the left, and I'm going to put Zendaya to the right. Okay, I have a lot of kingly cards that came out for her. There's also a Six of Cups coming up here too. What is the beef? What is the beef? What is the animosity that's coming up here? With the Six of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Swords coming up here. Mind you, these are coming up in the upright. All of these are coming up in the upright. But with the Six of Cups being here, it feels like, yes, there's something probably alluding from the past here. So I don't know where else they could have met in the past except for on the set of Euphoria. I don't know if it's something stemming from that. But then there's also something here with the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords that I want clarity on. I don't know if she sees Zendaya like that. Does she see her as part of the freaking problem? You too are a part of the problem. If the energy that I'm picking up on here is in fact correct, I hate to say it, I have to applaud Sydney on this, because I don't know, it kind of feels like she's being out loud and proud, or like kind of holding up a mirror to some of the other women that are in Hollywood. Like I don't know what that is, but it kind of feels like a F you. Okay, I don't want to read that one, but okay, I have so many cards that's wanting to come out for Zendaya, but I'm gonna count that one. I do want to note the other cards that came out is the Strength card. We have the Three of Cups in the upright, Temperance in reverse, the Five of Swords in reverse, the Tower in the upright, and then we also have the Nine of Wands. But let's see what's actually meant to stick here. I'll tell you one thing. I do believe the rumors that Zendaya wants to very much be out of Sydney Sweeney's orbit, especially with this Seven of Swords. I think she just thinks she's a snake. She's a, I don't. It feels like she's just like, you're conniving. You are not the type of person I want to be around. I don't think there's any fluffy feelings here at all. Um, Okay, here's something else I'm getting to before I get further into the energy between them. I'm kind of getting something from, it feels like from Sydney Sweeney's side, allegedly, where, okay, going back to me saying that there's a mirror that she's kind of holding up to Zendaya. I wonder if she's kind of like, it feels like, hey, chick, I learned, because I can't say the other word that I'm getting. Like, hey, chick, I learned it from the best. Like, I see how this is. Like, okay, okay, it's a lot. So one thing is, I don't know if this was ever said about Zendaya, but it's like, okay, you want to act like you're a girl's girl, or you're for women empowerment, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. But when I was going through, when me and the other girls was having these contractual problems on Euphoria, and we didn't want to do, show our body and do this and this and that, you never spoke up. You never said anything. You went along with it and washed your hands of it. So what's the problem now that I have a little power or a little influence behind me? Yeah, I applaud you. I admired you. I tip my hat off to you. Why isn't, what's good for the goose is good for the gander? Like, that's basically what is I'm getting here with her energy. Again, this feels like, hey, I see your bet and I'm gonna raise you five. You want to talk about me, you say you're a girl's girl, but it didn't matter. And then I think the other thing here is, like, I feel like she's also taking a page out of Zendaya's playbook, because as far as I know, the only time I've heard Zendaya be outspoken, loud, and proud about something is when it did kind of come to like racial issues that affected her. But other than that, she's, for the most part, she's quiet. You don't really hear much. So it's like, why can't I play the same game? Those are the two big things that's kind of jumping out for me from Sydney Sweeney's energy, allegedly. I feel like that's what I'm getting here for her. Oh, she's kind of pulling. I'm sorry, she's kind of pulling Zendaya's. She's pulling her tail. She's like, okay. And I don't know if Zendaya sees it that way. The death card is coming up again. See, yes. Again, when I see this death card in this Sydney Sweeney reading, to me it feels like a light bulb. It feels more like a light bulb or a light switch have been snapped, clicked over for her. And she's like holding up again, she's like holding up a mirror to Hollywood, or more specifically some of the women that are in Hollywood. And I think she's very much like, well, I'm gonna play the game with y'all. Like, it is what it is. Like, no. And the Seven of Pentacles being here, mind you, this is also coming up in reverse as well. I just keep getting something about, like, I'm okay with getting you're getting your hands dirty in one way, Zendaya, of playing the game. I'm just being more open and out front about it, and I'm unapologetic. I'm struggling. Unapologetic about it. Whereas you would probably apologize. I'm not gonna apologize about it. I'm gonna lean into it. The underlying energies I'm getting here is the Ace of Pentacles. Again, this is coming up in reverse. To me, it's not like a negating of a new beginning. To me, this reads again more like, I am willing to do what it takes to make the money to get the bag. Like, I don't care. Like, for some reason, I keep feeling like there's like Sydney Sweeney is putting a time limit on her career, or she feels like it's a time limit to her career. We also have the Three of Swords coming up here in reverse, and the Queen of Swords. I think she's like, the repercussions. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Yeah, I keep getting something. It feels like Sydney. I don't know. She feels like maybe she got the okie doke. Like, yeah, maybe initially when she got into Hollywood, I don't want to say she went into this just doe-eyed, wide-eyed, and innocent. I think she was kind of aware of some of. I think she thought she was probably aware of some of the stuff she would have to deal with, but she probably thought she was going to have a bit more support or people she could go and talk to from some of the ladies in Hollywood, and I feel like that has not been the case. Maybe she was kind of pushed out or treated a certain way, and ever since then she's like, you know what, it's payback on every bitch in Hollywood. Like, I don't care. I'm hellfire and brimstone. Don't care. I'm not letting up. um, God, what else is coming up here? I do have the star card. I can't leave it on the screen too long, but I do also have the star card coming up here. It is coming up in the upright here. So she's, to me, again, is kind of leaning into the, you know, all press is good press. Um, I don't know if that is true anymore. Page of Wands. Again, this is her craft here. Her acting. Like, I'll do, again, do what I want. And then we also have the Ten of Swords here. Yeah, Sydney, and I'm not surprised. I kind of feel like somebody triggered her nemesis story. I feel like it started around the pandemic or sometime a little bit before then. I feel like somebody has triggered her nemesis story, her arch nemesis story, and she just don't care, and she's like leaning full throttle into it, and she's like, well, getting where you fit in. I don't, yeah, you got a problem with me. She do too. So does she. She got a problem with me for whatever reason. I don't care. All of y'all had a problem with me before. Da 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 da. Some of y'all accusing me of lowering the standards of women in Hollywood. But meanwhile, when I was coming to you for help, you wasn't there to kind of like help me. Since you're saying I'm lowering the standards, she's like, F all of y'all. F all of y'all. That's what I feel like is. I feel like that's what triggered it for Sydney Sweeney. That's what I feel like I'm picking up on. Allegedly, allegedly. The last thing I'm gonna pull on is that so apparently she's also dating Scooter Braun, the Scooter Braun. And in the recent interview that she did with that reporter that went viral, whatever, where she was pretty much not addressing the controversy around her, she denied it, or basically she said she's single. So let's see what's going on here between her and Scooter Braun, and then I'm gonna wrap this reading up. Ooh, funny. We have the Nine of Cups here. We do have the Seven of Cups coming up here. Oh, bish. Oh, bish. I think I know what this is alluding to. Mm. What do you know? I get the Emperor and the Ace of Wands coming up in reverse. What do you know? I'm not really surprised because when I was initially getting, just looking at these two cards, when I got the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Cups, I think she is very much aware of the reputation that Scooter Braun has. But I also think she feels like, I don't know if maybe he treats her differently, or maybe she feels more armed because she's aware of where the effect he has had in the industry, but especially to certain celebrities and stuff here. Um, but she's like, he's also a man who can get me access into certain places. I don't know if he is still a powerful person behind the scenes. You know what? I gotta look this up. Is he still a powerful person when it comes to the music industry? At least that's where I know Scooter Braun from. I don't know. Because from what I understand, wasn't he the one that a lot of people looked at him crazy for the Taylor Swift stuff, and he was like messing around with Justin Bieber. Not messing around with Justin Bieber, but like he took a lot of Justin Bieber stuff. Like they seen him more than just Justin Bieber's manager. Yes, yes, okay, yeah. And he was also looped in with the stuff with Ariana Grande, and she was trying to get away from him too. Okay, yeah. So yes, to me, this feels like he also was over Demi Lovato as well. He was her manager. Okay, that's another look. That's a rabbit hole I'm gonna have to go down on my own. I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna look into all of that. Long story short, she feels like he helps her get into powerful rooms, give her access to certain things. I think she is in love with the power and access that he provides her. Maybe even some of the comfort, because I don't know, maybe he's also talking in her ear like, hey, you can do this and this and that. And I think he also sees Sydney. I kind of get this energy allegedly that maybe he sees Sydney Sweeney as a way to kind of like brand wash himself, or like renew his brand, or get himself back out there in the public, or to a younger audience or something, or help him lean in with a particular audience or something like that, something along those lines. And then we do also have, again, going back to this Eight of Wands and the Emperor coming up in reverse. If there is I'm not picking up on like the sexual tension here, but if there is, it feels very much like it's the means to an end. Like it's I'll trade for whatever was agreed upon. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's the thing here, but it more so feels like it's a power exchange here. And what do you know, I'm also getting the Six of Wands coming up here. I'm also getting the Four of Cups, and I'm also getting the Hierophant. They're very much using each other to kind of, for some kind of like public, for career use. It's for career. I feel like it's for career. Um, but with this Six of Wands, though, it makes me feel like doing this out of nefarious or misguided purposes is probably not going to end in the best way. Look, that Four of Pentacles is the underlying energy. We also have the Empress here. To me, didn't I get the Empress for her earlier? And it's coming up her. No, I didn't. I didn't get it for her. The Empress to me just feels like going, especially when it's coming up in reverse, it feels like going against my better judgment of things, going against what I like. I know better, but I'm choosing not to do better. Or maybe I feel like I can, maneuver my way out of it. And then we also have the Wheel coming up here as well in the upright. I mean, maybe it is going to pay off for them. Maybe there is going to be a little payoff from this relationship. And the other underlying card again is that Six of Cups. I, yeah, I would not be surprised they're using each other to kind of like, I don't even want to say it's probably cleaning their brand, or like doing some kind of reputation wash or anything like that. It could just be, hey, you're helping like rebrand me in a certain sense. Like I want to be known as the woman. Look, I'm gonna keep pulling from the bottom because it's telling so much. Like it feels like the Seven of Pentacles is still coming up in reverse too. What did I say when it comes to my readings of Sydney Sweeney? There's always some kind of money involved. With this Five of Pentacles coming up here, it's like there was several other people you could have asked for help, but y'all chose to link up with each other. Says a freaking lot. Look, the Four of Wands also coming up in reverse. You don't know what the Four of Wands deal with. That's usually dealing with home, life and stuff here, but it's coming up in reverse. I think that they very much know, hey, I'm gonna use you. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. Three of Wands, child, and that's where they click at. The Two of Cups. That's why we get along. I'm calling it quits there. I gotta tap out. Diabolical Genius. Oh my god. Why is her and Taylor Swift not friends? I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. Cause child, I'm overloaded. I gotta step away now. I gotta cleanse. I'm overloaded. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. If you would like to see more videos like this from me, or you would like to suggest videos to me, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And as always, you can always support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link is down in the description box, or you will see it down in the tagline box below, and you can click on that link and you can get access to more exclusive videos there as well. And with all of that being said, I'm going to wish you all a great night or day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.